All right, we're live. And let's do some streaming. And to get to that going, oh, the stream's already happening. And hang on. All right, now we're live on stream. We're looking beautiful. Hey, hello, hi. People are streaming in. Hi, everyone. You want to say hi too?
Hi.
This is my son, Alden. Being joined also by Sandy Lamb and Jerome Framau. And yeah, there's people chatting. They're saying hi. Lisa's saying hola. And this is the GVDS Spotlight Awards ceremony, award ceremony.
And my haircut ceremony.
Yeah, and your haircut ceremony. This is a way of kind of showcasing the people that were nominated for several different awards throughout the past couple of weeks on what they've done within the Global Virtual Design Sprint. I've invited the former most valuable practitioners of previous Global Virtual Design Sprint events to come and join us. And I have here somebody that's managed chat apparently and kind of helping out with that. For reference, in case you're not aware, Jerome was the recipient of GVDS 3. He was the most valuable practitioner then, did a ton of work for that. The GVDS on air was something that was a breakthrough for us in terms of understanding where things were and kind of organizing things, and really did a ton of work to kind of help out other people with their sprints. Sandy Lamb was the foundation of the design work for GVDS 2 and for 3, and doing a lot of work in the templates, helping people out, giving reference. I mean, both of them have been spectacular. But I have to consult my assistant for a second. Alden, I have to do this meeting, okay? All right.
I'm gonna go play.
Okay, you go play. Right, so now that the consultant's all taken care of, I will say that there may be like some of these happening in the hour, but hopefully we'll be able to handle those quite fine. I'll be referencing a mural while we're going through the awards, and I've invited Sandy and Jerome to basically help me give some perspective on some of the people that were nominated so that we can understand beyond the comments that were given by the original people that submitted the awards, what their impressions were and if they have had any interaction with any of the individuals that are there. Jerome and Sandy, do you want to say anything before we get started?
Hello, all of you. Let's party. Let's party today.
Yeah, let's just go.
It's Alexander's he's from Hamburg. We got Mark's dialing in. Lee's here. Lee's here. It's like there. Let's see. Morton's from Denmark. Oh yeah, he is from Denmark. He's getting greens from Denmark. Who else we got? We have Galina. She's in from Russia. Adele. Yeah, we got tons and tons of people. Suzanne. Okay, so we're set. Everyone's ready for this. I'll go ahead and hit it up and basically start sharing my screen, and we'll get into this really shortly. Give me a minute. Make sure I have the right tab open too, so that you aren't necessarily looking at something that doesn't interest you. Yeah, so yeah, I need a drum roll. That's the way I'm doing it.
So Robert,
alrighty, okay.
Just Robert, just to ask you, how many people did actually participate in GVDS 4? So really, we're on sprint teams, so not enrolled, but actively on the sprint teams.
I would say about 132 people when I last counted. So it was about 132 overall. Okay.
And how many newbies? How many new people? First timers? Any idea?
70% of them probably. Wow. I would say since last time. So it was a healthy portion of people that were brand new to this entire concept and brought into it. And then we had a lot of people coming back that had done this before, that were facilitators turned advisors, or people that had gone for the first time and wanted to do co-facilitation, wanted to step up their game a bit. I'm trying to think of some other facts and figures about this. So week 1 had 11 active teams, I think, but then we tapered off a bit in 2 because people needed to kind of do iteration sprints or take a break. But then 3 saw this massive, not only the teams kind of self-assembling, but we had people saying, hey, I heard about this, can I join in? And I had enough of that where I brought people in on week 3 to kind of join and experience what it was like, which changed my view of like the whole gateway of registering and then going through the event, which is interesting.
Yeah. We saw yesterday, of course, your conversation with Sandy as well on the retrospective, the 2 of you. So that was clear. So, but I was just curious about the numbers. If I see already that there are now 31 people online, that means 20% of 30% of all the participants is online at the moment. So that's a good crowd.
And I will say for those of you on Zoom, hang out for a while because we're going to be bringing people in towards the end of the call. Some that we recognize from the event and kind of doing a grand kind of like showcase of a display saying, you know, or sign off. So we'll bring everybody in at the towards the end. But for now, we're
towards the end. So you have to stay until the end.
I'm not going anywhere. I mean, you may see me, you may hear a ding dong, and I'll have to get up for a second and go, okay, do what you need to do here. I got to go back upstairs. That's the only thing that'll delay anything.
Okay, let's go.
All right. Go. So the 4th GVDS Spotlight Awards. Let's get started. So if you've been paying attention to social media, I've been posting these in the past few days, but we'll go over them kind of by category. The first one's going to be about design and prototyping. Now, all of these individuals here, let me zoom in a little bit. So to give reference, I take directly from the comments that were given when the award was sent in, and I changed things slightly for grammatical changes so that they read a little better, but the essence of the award is still there. From the people that are highlighted here, I'm aware of two people that did their work, and I can reflect on some of the comments there. But Sandy and Jerome, have you had any direct contact with anyone you see here for design and prototyping?
I personally have to say, unfortunately not. Because it's always great to see prototypers in a sprint active. Like I've seen some former achievements in there, but prototyping is really making the difference in the team towards the end because it brings things alive. So I can only express great appreciation for the prototypers in any of the sprints, so that these two have surfaced to the top by peer recognition is an achievement in itself. But maybe Sandy has worked with some of them and can say something more.
Well, I just recently worked with Ugo. He's in the asynchronous, like the Project Manhattan. I haven't seen his design work or prototyping yet. We're not even there yet. I don't think we're even doing that actually. But like from what I have been seeing is like he is actually very active and he's very engaged. Like he would, when we have uncertainty or clarity, he would come in and just do a Loom video and kind of fit in his perspective and communicate that way and try to bring in more clarity. That's what I know about him. All the other ones, unfortunately, I have not worked with and I don't really know them so well. So yeah.
I will comment that Eduardo and Eric both were week 3 ads. Like I had mentioned that people came in the very last week to kind of get involved, and it's interesting to see their names here as you know, award recipients. But yeah, that's just a little bit of data perspective on this one. If we move to the Spotlight Awards for advising and coaching, there's some that are no surprises here. I mean, Lee's somebody that consistently every single time we've done this event has been someone that I've heard from other people, whether it's declarative like this or otherwise, that he's been extremely helpful. I think the words I've heard, they were critical for understanding our problem space and moving forward. I know of Nora's work. She did a ton of preparation for the Femtech Collective and her sprint. From all intents and purposes, I think she felt it. From what I heard, is that it went really well. Jerome and Sandy, what are your thoughts on some of the people that are listed here?
Well, if I look at the list, Lee is on my radar already since GVDS number 2, and I still haven't been in a team with him. So I know he's in the call, he's listening. So Lee, there's still that desire on my side to be on a team one day with you and experience all the great appreciation that I hear from others, myself. With Nora, I've experienced Nora, I think, in 2 teams in GVDS number 3, actually, where she was still a bit insecure, discovering how to facilitate and how to prepare the session. And now seeing her here on the list on advising and coaching, and also seeing how in the weeks before the GVDS, she was preparing for that Femtech event that she was organizing. Quite an impressive step. So she must have grown major steps in the virtual design sprint space to now get acknowledged here by her peer colleagues. So chapeau. And Bart, you're living in the Netherlands, Amsterdam, and it's a very small country. It's time for coffee because we need to know each other.
All right. That very apropos, using it as a network opportunity. It's somebody that's in the local town. I will say that Bart is somebody that took time out of a very busy schedule to make this happen. I mean, normally we ask people to do a little bit of pre-work, and Bart was pretty much had project work all the way up until he had to go to the GVDS. So kudos to him for basically ramping up really fast with his team and getting everything going. So again, that was another example of his team that seemed to go really well. We have a lot of people in user research that were highlighted here. I know we're familiar with a lot of different names. I'm really happy to see Graham's name here. Sometimes I thought when he first came into GVDS 3, he did a lot of work then. This time around, his name here really makes me happy. Same with Andrew Constable. I can point out individuals, but really what it means is that everyone you see here really went an extra step in kind of providing for the team. Sandy and Jerome, I'll let you kind of put some comments in here, but yeah, it's a great assembly of professionals here, I think.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know Natasha, so I'm a big fan of her. She's really awesome. And I've worked with her for, I think, 2 or 3 sprints now. Mm-hmm. And from my experience, she always have really good insights and always bring in a different perspective to the team and creates a little bit different dynamic. And I really enjoy working with her. Was also in a team with Graham and Andrew. The rest I have not worked with, unfortunately. But yeah, for Graham and Andrew, they both are really, really great to work with. They are very engaged and always bring in a little bit, they are like one of those, they don't actually say a lot, but then when they say something, it's always very insightful.
I can speak to Marguerite Osley as well. She's been someone that's always been a foundational user researcher for the teams that she's been on. She's always been someone that's helped out her team. So I have experience with Marguerite before, and doesn't surprise me that she's here. Jerome, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, well, I know a few on the board here, but similar to what Sandy said. Maybe starting with Natasha. I have to say the text there is my text, but maybe to also echo that once more. I met Natasha, I think, for the first time at GVDS 2. I'm not even sure anymore whether it was GVDS 3. Definitely, she was participating also in our talent sprint initiatives in between, etc. But what I really appreciate in her is 2 things. She has a finesse in storytelling. So she can bring research alive. She can bring insights alive. By the way she brings it across to the team. And that's not just data driven. Here is the data. This is what I've heard. But she's able to give it a context and to verbalize it in a way that she pulls in the whole team in that story. And I find that a unique quality for an individual. Of course, it's something that she should leverage even more, I think, in her professional life as well. But it's something that I really wanted to highlight here in the call as well. There's more that I can tell about her and how she behaves in the team. But another highlight was that in the talent sprint, she was able to give confidence to other team members, to show their vulnerability, to experiment with some of the tasks they were given. And I think there was a unique quality that really, I think, put her on stage. Andrew, I have not really sprinted with him, but I engaged with him in a few other events, also with the Virtual Design Sprint Collective that we started, where he's a very active member as well. And he's always there. And that means mentally, intellectually, but also to add something in the whole event at that moment. It can be an insight, it can be a knowledge topic, it can be a perspective. And that's what I really appreciate in him. Graham, I met for the first time only last week during the mini sprint that we did on GVDS on air. And with the limited time we had, he was able to bring research insights and desk research to the table that I thought, whoa, let's say if you can grasp the concept so quickly or the problem statement and come with such insightful desk research in the matter of 20 minutes sometimes, that's a quality. That's really a quality. So chapeau to Graham as well.
Yep. Thanks for that. Facilitation. A lot of familiar names here, some new. I mean, I could basically go on and on about a lot of these folks. I'll just point out a couple. For Daniel, he's called the Swiss Army knife of the GVDS, but he's been here at almost every event for, I want to say ever since one, I think. I may be wrong, but he's somebody that every single time we've done an event, he's been in the mix, and I think that I'm really happy to see him kind of getting more involved with facilitation in the way that he's kind of like leading things and getting his reps in that way. Jason has always been someone that's been he gathers people and kind of rallies them around this sprint challenge and puts a ton of work into what he does. Susanna is somebody that, like Nora, came from the, I think it was the Mural webinar that we had last year, came in, kind of was like, what the heck is all this stuff? And then is basically slowly but surely taken her experience in facilitation and what she's done offline and translated to online very well. So I'll stop here because I'll keep going. Jerome and Sandy, if you have other things you want to say about some of the nominees here, please speak up. No?
Yeah, let me just bring out one that really impressed me a lot, and that's Ming from Melbourne, Australia.
Oh, I was going to say something about him.
Oh, then I give it.
Yeah.
You go ahead. You coached him. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. Do you want
Let's say when there was a need or an opportunity to explore GVDS on air, the future generation, Ming was raising his hand and said, can I take the challenge? With all insecurities, discomfort, not knowing how to do it, and things like that. And he turned that around in a kind of a confidence on air, I almost wanted to say, in those events where he showcased that even with lots of insecurity and doing for the first time, with a little bit of coaching from the great Sandy Lam on his side. And he was actually to pull off an event spread around 3 days that delivered an outcome and that we can work with now in let's say, kind of an iteration mode. But he did it also in a way, not showing that vulnerability and that discomfort. He has a style that looks so easy, but if you talk to him afterwards, he had sweating hands, sweating armpits, thinking that he did everything wrong, but it comes across as confident. And that's what I highly appreciate. All the others I know as well from events here and there, but that would take too much time.
Alex, I will say that Alex is somebody that's coming into his own. I mean, he's already very, very well versed in facilitation and growth and a lot of the things he does in Germany, but working with Lisa Weinsberger on some of the stuff I've seen him on social and getting involved with and doing workshops, I really like following what his work and what he's going to be doing. I get the sense that he's got a lot more coming up this year that we should pay attention to. So I'm always happy when he's part of the event and he's in the mix. So I'm glad to see him here as well. I have this kind of side joke about Ming, is that he basically joined the GVDS right after a major move to another place. And I often saw him where he was he was bundled up somewhere. And I had a side thoughts like, maybe the only time we're going to see Ming is if he relocates to like Northern Alaska or some other remote location with like a somewhat good connection. He goes, hello, everyone. I am now on location in this place. Then that's the way that his metaphor will be for the GVDS. So just a thought. Not that's going to happen. I don't want Ming to relocate it again. I'm just saying.
Oh, I won't be surprised that he will be relocating though. When you hear the story from him, like I don't even know how many countries that he has lived in. I think over 10 or something.
Yeah, he's been
crazy.
Yeah.
I thought I was quite like multicultural. But
he'll be signed in for he'll be on the Siberian Express and basically like dialing us. Yes, we're heading northeast. I'm not sure where we're going to stop, but I'm ready to do some sketching.
Yeah, and I really appreciate how he would like wake up at 3 a.m. or something to like facilitate.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my god, those are like commitments there.
Well, there is something with the people from Australia. I know many people have to get up early around the GVDS times or stay up very late. But it's amazing to see how any participant from Australia, also in the past, really makes that effort of getting up before sunset. You hear the birds chirp in the background with the doors open. It gives a real interesting atmosphere. So I always look forward to working together with people from Australia in the GVDS.
Yeah, Team Pancakes knows of me like kind of like jumping into the session at 3 a.m. when I've been up late going, hey, I'll just kind of join here. And yeah, doing that. And with me completely being sleep deprived, that was probably pretty entertaining for them. But yeah, Ming being up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. to kind of join these has been it's been marvelous. But man, I'm just glad he's going to catch up on sleep sooner or later.
But maybe adding something to this facilitator category. I think it is sometimes a little bit underappreciated or undervalued, the role of the facilitator. So a facilitator can be very present and really drive the process from a process point of view. Other facilitators have much more the empathy point of mode. Let's say the process is maybe less dominant, but it's more about creating the right flow with the team. And every facilitator takes its own style in there. And there's no right and there's no wrong, I think. But I think also in the GVDS, I think from a learning perspective, but also from an outcome perspective, I think there are many other roles in a sprint team, but the facilitators probably put in 2 or 3 times as much as effort and time into preparing for an event like that and deliver something that everybody can benefit from as a learning experience, as a sprint experience, maybe even as a customer or as a client. So I think it's not just these 5, I think probably the 15 people that have been facilitating over these 3-4 weeks all deserve some kind of a credit today.
And their names are usually looked at when or sought out when this thing starts up again. Like when we do it in October, I have a guarantee that when I put that form out, it was like, who do you want to work with? There's going to be some like the top 3 or top 5 names that are going to come to the top in terms of like, I want to work with this individual. And then it's up to me to kind of figure out and organize where those things are going to happen. So yeah, I agree with you. It takes a lot of work, a lot of dedication, a lot of time. Now we have awards for collaboration and communication. And this is very important because I see these individuals as being vital to keeping the flow of the sprint going, especially when things make it difficult, or especially if they provide guidance or perspective. They bring their own, I think I call them some folks specialists, where they really didn't fit a traditional role of the design sprint, but they were integral in terms of their team kind of coming together around a cause. There's so many things to say about so many individuals here. I'll just remark on one with Jeannie Chen. She worked with me on Team Bunyan, and the thing I remember the most was that not only did the team kind of get behind her vision around the way we were going to approach our prototype, but she did it in a very calm, detailed, and practical manner that really resonated with everyone. It was almost like everyone felt comfort in the way she explained things. So Jeannie is someone that's a very quiet contributor, but a very solid and practical one. And it was really a treat to work with her. So Jerome and Sandy, what are your thoughts on some of the folks that we listed here?
Yeah, I only work with Jeannie too, so yeah, that's all I can comment actually. But I'm just reading on the comments here. It says that Praika is actually from Australia. It's not from Denmark.
Oh, I'm sorry. I copied it over from there. So let's go Australia. Do it that way.
Don't know which part, but yeah.
Yeah, which part of Australia?
Yeah, if anyone knows, please write in the comments.
Correctly. Make sure that I if I get anything wrong.
Or someone can quickly go to LinkedIn and look up his
who's gonna get it
profile
first?
and tell us.
All right, we'll say she's in Melbourne until somebody tells me otherwise. Melbourne, Australia. Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. What about you, Jerome? Who do you see up here that you'd like to take a comment on? Because I can talk about a couple more people, but Jeannie was the first person I wanted to kind of tag before giving it over to the both of you for commentary.
To be very honest, I don't really know any of them. I've not worked with any of them, not come across with them and as such. But so therefore, it's difficult for me to comment on anybody individually. But again, here, just like I said about the facilitator, you always have those hidden gems in a team that can create a vibe, that can connect people behind the scenes. very often people that feel very comfortable in demonstrating empathy in a team and use communication styles to connect people with the topic or things like that. And I assume, if I look at the comments that are made over here, that it's also these type of people. There may be some special people in other categories, but I think those people that really thrive on collaboration through communication, I think they bring something unique to the table as well. Just like in probably an in-company team, you need sometimes just these people in the team as well. Not always the subject matter experts, but actually the glue. They can create the glue in the process, in the team, in the event. So I think an important category.
I can make two comments about Americo. Americo's like this. He's somebody that has so much energy that it would take three of me just to catch up with him, because he's just he provides so much detail and context and perspective to everything that he does that literally it's like I have to go get more tea and I have to sit down and I have to really look at what he's typed, because he literally combines like almost like a 2 hours worth of reading into like an entire kind of like overview of what's this and I've done this, and he's I can't tell if it's like it's achievement or if it's just drive or focus or something that kind of powers him. But every time he gets on, he puts his mind to something. It's like literally a rocket, and he goes in a particular direction. So this is my first experience with Americo, but man, if he gets to set his mind to something, he's just like a dynamo. I also have to pay respect to Benjamin Ritchie, in that I met him in France. I've seen his work. I'm aware of what he does. I've been interviewing him for a podcast, so I'm really happy he's featured here. I think he's got a ton of talent. He's very well connected. So when people see that kind of dedication to a sprint come through in something like this, it makes me very happy.
Were we on that same boat with him
We were. Yeah, he was the guy that was actually taking everybody's coats at first, and then I immediately knew who he was when I saw him. I was like,
well, I feel so embarrassed saying now that I never came across him. So,
hey,
sorry,
I don't want to call him the coat
sorry,
guy.
Benjamin.
Like,
we were
yes,
on the same boat with Jake.
Like, yeah, he's the coat. No.
I'm going to make it up. Next time I'm in Paris, I'll visit him. But I know he's in Lyon, so it's a little bit further down south. But I'll make that effort.
We just got to convince Steph to bring everybody together for a second time. Maybe not on a boat. Maybe it can be like on a plane. No, not a plane, but
On a plane.
on a electric glider and fly around or something. I don't know. The sticky notes still work on the plane windows. But we'll see. And then we have some X Factor awards, and what X Factors are people that gave some intangible or tangible like kind of perspective and contributions to their teams, something that really made their sprints that much better. I know that there's a lot of people here that we know of. In fact, there's one that seems to be here that I think I have direct contact with a lot. And Sandy, I almost wanted to give you a little bit of flack for just like, really, just one award? That's all you got this time around? Being a former MVP, but I didn't. I know you're really, really busy, so it's fine. But I will say that yeah, I don't think I'll make comments on anyone here yet. I'll let both you and Sandy kind of Joe and Sandy, you go ahead and comment on some of the people you see here.
You start, Sandy.
Well, yeah, I mean,
would you like to comment on yourself?
Who's this Sandy Lam? Like, yeah, I can comment about Alexandra. So actually, we work in the same company, but we actually met at GVDS, interestingly. And I always really enjoy conversation with her, and you may not even know how much time she really spent on like preparing her sprints and everything, because I mean, I'm sure all the other people did, but just because I had like more touch point with her and I knew what was going on behind, and she has a lot of things going on. She's like doing homeschooling and everything, and she's still like, because she was committed to bring the team to go through this design sprint, and she is like spending a lot of time and spending like 4 hours sleep or everything and just trying to make this happen. I just wanted to give that comment just in case people don't know what is going on behind some of these people like, you know, because it's very easy to be like to see like the effort in a way. Like it's some people, when they know how to do things, like it makes it look really, really easy, and people don't recognize how much effort actually it needs to make that happen. So yeah.
Yep. I will say that Gisela has been like an enthusiast and an advocate for the GVDS for a long time. I call her the sunshine director because while she is full of energy, she isn't shy about asking for people to do certain tasks or to say like, hey, this is great, we really need this stuff done. She drives a lot of the action related to sprints. So she's been somebody that I've seen like in the past couple of events where she's been highly involved in basically, you know, helping the team out where she can. I will make one other comment about Yasir. I find it a little humorous that the comment is Yasir was always on time and motivating the group to move forward. And he was someone that sent me a message yesterday about Remotely Interesting saying, hey, it hasn't started yet, what's going on? So now I have his name associated with being on time. And I made comment to it before we started. It's like, you know, I got to get going or Yasser's going to get on my case because I don't have this thing started yet. So yeah, that's the only other thing I'll say about this list. Jerome, what are your thoughts?
Well, a few that I know. Gisela was in several of the events in GVDS that I was participating in as well, and she brings in a vibe that is unique in itself in different ways. Even when she can't, let's say, have the right Wi-Fi connection, she's fun to watch, and she brings, let's say, energy to the table. So that's Gia, and I think that's also kind of an X factor at that moment. But I know that behind the scenes she's doing a lot. Yeah, Alexandra, I hadn't actually been sprinting or having any events with her over the last period of time, but when she popped up into in an event again where I was co-hosting with Sabrina a little bit in week 1, in the last day, to bring some talent sprint vibe to the table. Verena was there, couldn't be there as well, was the Kampala challenge. I say it felt like there was only a week between the last time we saw each other and this next time, and it means there was immediately that reconnect again, and maybe also therefore she showed up at the GVDS on Air's mini sprint that we done, and also there she brought the great insights and that commitment. I can't say it otherwise. Let's say if Alexandra is in the team somewhere, she's committed to what she's doing at that moment. Then Sandy, I'm putting her on stage often enough, but yeah, if she's only featured once in one of these categories, you never know what comes towards the end, but definitely here, she is GVDS to some extent, and not only the face next to you, but the templates already in the previous events, and bring it to the next level with the dark mode versions these times that many people appreciated, I think, definitely if you do many hours on screen. But again, also jumping on board with any team that needs help, either offline or online. She's doing it again. And what people also should know, she was just home isolated for the last couple of probably 6 weeks in an apartment, probably not bigger than the space we are experiencing now on screen as well, and maybe a meter here and a meter there. So it's amazing what she's demonstrating again, and how the community is embracing her, and how she is embracing the community. So compliments again to you as well, Sandy. Whatever you win or not win later on, a big cheer out to you as well. So
we're all very familiar what she has on the shelf, that's for sure.
That's
if
true.
you're paying attention. I almost wonder if there's like, she secretly kind of moves things slightly just to see if anyone makes any commentary, where all those things on your shelf are going to start revolving. It's like, wait a minute, wasn't that over there before? Just to see if people pay attention sometimes.
Cool.
Before we get into the latter part of the awards that we have, I do want to point out one particular award that came through that I thought was pretty cool. And I only paused the share to get to it. Somebody nominated an entire team, which was Team Breakfast Burrito. So somebody was felt compelled enough to say, like, look, this is this is an amazing team. The commitment was high across everyone. I knew when I assembled this team between bringing Jason, Andy, and Mehmet all in the same group, and then having folks like Leah and John Marie, and I mean, everyone you see here, it was one of those teams that had all the possibilities of this being fantastic. And it took on Micah's challenge with Find Your Tribe. So I wanted to point this out, that yeah, it wasn't explicit, but you can actually nominate a team. And maybe I'll point that out. It's like, you just don't have to do individuals. You can actually do entire groups as well, and kind of see where that goes. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out before we move forward, that that was a pretty special one that I saw. It's like, oh yeah, the entire team needs to be recognized, not just one individual. So let's get into the top 10. Now the top 10 here, what this means is, let me clarify by top 10. So this is by frequency. So top 10 means that these individuals received more than, say, 2 or 3 Spotlight Awards from various people. They're highlighted here because multiple people had recognized them for their efforts. This isn't communicating that they are better than what we've just seen before. This is just acknowledging that there's a greater volume of commentary around their contributions. So there's some people that were kind of listed in categories before that were moved into this, like Sarita Damania. And I think the other person that also is, both Alexander and Benjamin were kind of moved into this place as well. But what this is meant to convey is that a lot of people recognized what they were doing and their contributions here. I'll only say that a couple of names here that I'll comment on is, one of them is Micah Strudoff. I have never would have thought, starting this, that one person would submit a challenge that 6 different teams decided that they wanted to take on. I thought it was incredible. I'd never seen it. You would never have convinced me otherwise if that had happened before. I'm still, I'm hoping that some of the teams actually went with the IDEO challenge of kind of putting in what her theme was, and some of the all right, I went in a rabbit hole with some of their projects with that. The other thing I'll comment is Lisa Weinsberger, somebody that just puts her all into like what she does with facilitation and making sure the team is feeling in a safe place. But I'll turn it over to you, Sandy and Jerome. Go ahead and give me your thoughts on some of the list here in the top 10.
I know a few, and that has different reasons, because I engaged with them prior to the GVDS period, and by having conversations about what is design sprinting, what is virtual design sprinting, what is this event actually, they may have decided to enroll this whole event, GVDS 4. So, and it is great to see that people that were curious in the end up on this list, so to say, and I find that quite amazing. So not only some of the established names, there's, let's say, Ian, GVDS number 3, Lisa, I think, was already for the second part, so she knows the drill and she knows the grills. But people like Benjamin, Alexander, David, and Gunjan, I think, are all newbies, also in the space of sprinting to some extent, and I think it's great to see them. So Benjamin sitting in Tokyo, being almost fully francophonic and English speaking and trying to serve clients from Japan in France, is looking for ways to become much more effective in virtual collaboration, not only sprinting. And he takes this event as a great learning journey. And look what he accomplished. He is here on the multiple vote over there. So compliments to you, Benjamin. Alexander, I met him, I think, 3 weeks before the GVDS in a masterclass together with Sabrina, trying to explore what is virtual design sprinting, because he's a UX designer and wants to repurpose his career. He is here on the list. So he must have done something well in the way he's doing it. So Alexander, also compliments to you there in Hamburg, up there. Gunjan, I was engaging with her on how can a virtual design sprint event like a GVDS maybe also be repurposed for students in the world that she comes from. She's in the International Baccalaureate office here in The Hague. And we engaged on that a couple of times before the GVDS. She got curious and she's here. So compliments being here on the top 10 as well. You must have been doing something right. I've seen you in week 1 as part of the Kampala challenge. Saw the smile on your face, so I thought probably you had been doing something right and made the right decision. So compliments to the. And then I will not go to Ian. I speak to Ian and praise him too often already, but let's go to the newbies only. David, in this case. I know David for ages, virtually. Never met the guy in person. in that sense. But when he re-engaged with me earlier this year on what is this virtual collaboration? How can I learn something about it more, Jeroen? I said to him, yeah, you can do two things. You can go to a course, or you can just start doing it. And why don't you enroll the GVDS? Got inspired, I think, by the Kampala challenge from beginning till end almost, week 1, 2, and 3. But maybe soul searching a little bit in the virtual design sprint in the first week, when I saw him at the end of week 1. Highly passionate about the Kampala challenge and how design sprints can really create an impact. But in week 3, during the talent sprints that we organized, and Sandy was there as well, he showcased a kind of a design leadership in there and inspiration to the whole team, which was 10 people big in total, about what you can actually do by being a designer or by engaging in the creative space, creative collaboration, and demonstrating how his design career actually had been able to impact different people, different organizations. It inspired so many people on the team that where we normally have only 10 minutes for that introduction, I think he took 40, but it was, let's say, jaw-dropping as such. So I really want to thank him in that sense, also in the way how he inspired other people on the team, and not only try to learn himself as much as possible. So thank you, David.
Yeah, I can totally echo that because I was also part of the team. And when he was telling us his story, you can see the chat, like people were like, oh my God, they're getting so inspired. And also like I got people WhatsApping me, like saying, like privately saying, oh my God, like they're listening to this story, like it inspired them to realize how big of impact designers can create. So it's really amazing to have him in the team. One person I want to also point, I mean, I also know Ian, but as you said, like we already talked a lot about him before, so he's always amazing with prototyping and everything. But one guy I actually want to point out is Raj. I actually met him in Bangalore. It's quite interesting because when I met him, I didn't know who he was and so on, and then he came and asked me about design sprints and what I do, and then he told me the story how he all these challenges that he have bringing design sprints in India, because it's just not something that in his culture or the culture there. And basically, what I saw, like I think it was not less than a year. What I saw is like he actually just tries to just trying to like push all these challenges away and go through this design sprint and try to really bring it to his culture. And I see him like doing it more and more. And I also worked with him during the GVDS and seeing how committed he is when he was like doing the prototype, because he's actually in a different time zone. So like you can see like he actually stay up really, really late to join the teams online, and then he would continue building the prototype afterwards so the team can have something to look at when the teams are meeting next day. So it's a commitment that you don't see in a lot of people. So just want to point that out as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe before we continue, the fact that I can't comment on the others is because I have not been engaging with them in the event. I've seen them on social media. I've seen them promote a lot, share a lot. And I think that's also important. So not only the event itself, but to make sure that the event is known to the outside world and is inspiring other people again through their LinkedIn posts, to the way they share the knowledge as well. So in the prototyping space, in the facilitating space, I think all of them on here must have done something really good and impactful. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in the top 10 list.
So I can comment to Sarita Damania because I worked with her at Sabre for a while. I will tell you that she probably won't want me to comment on this, but I tend to look at people for their best virtues and what they bring to the table professionally. So I'm thrilled that she's here, and I know that she's got a lot of process methodology as well as creative and design chops that she brings to the table. So I'm thrilled that she's in the top 10 here and that she's actually highlighted. And I hope I hope, Sarita, if you're watching this later on, that you can see that design sprints are a thing, that you can actually like showcase the best of what you can do. So hopefully we'll see her again at a future event. But I'm very happy she's here because I do think that her work is really, really good when it's applied and it's in this context. So that's one person I can speak to that I have some experience with. Okay, so now we're into the best of the best, and I've actually chosen a metaphor of the Iron Chef. If you're familiar with the Japanese version that came before the American version, basically the Iron Chefs took on all comers in terms of like people that in Kitchen Stadium. But for here, I just wanted to use them as kind of like placards, so you can't really see who's here. But these are 3 people that, based on peer submitted Spotlight Awards, were exemplary in terms of their contributions and their work. So what I'd like to do is that I'm going to ask Sandy or Jerome to pick one of them, and then I'll basically move the placard off. If you are attending right now and you see your name and you'd like to come on to the panelist side to basically be with us, this is going to be the start of how we're going to take the people that are are just observing and kind of bring them into the mix. So again, the notion is that if you see your name shown after I move a panel off, then just raise your hand in Zoom and we'll bring you over to our side so you can kind of comment on like the GVDS and what you're doing. What's up?
I do brain pop.
Yeah, you can do brain pop.
Gisela is already raising her hand, so she's taking it.
Now, hang on, not yet. So Sandy, which one should I take off? Oh, actually, let me ask both of you, Jerome and Sandy, do you want to pick, or should we ask the audience in terms of like which one of these should come down? Like which one should we reveal first?
Yeah, why don't we count down to 3 and then they should like do it all together, answer it all together.
Oh, like did they reveal all of them? All right. Well, let's go in chat if you're paying attention. People are already saying middle. They want Joe Kenichi down. Okay, all right, everyone go ahead and let's just say like put in which one. So the people are saying the knife, the red one. So far it's like 3. It's between 2 and 3 so far. All 3.
All 3.
Middle, red 1, 2, middle, red. All right, middle. Okay, we're gonna go with the middle one. So Kenichi is gonna be the first one to go. So the person behind, I'll zoom in a little bit. The person behind the knife is that's Ken Soto. Woo! So Ken is someone that was very highly involved in GVDS 3, and apparently from all of the awards that I saw coming in, he was extremely involved in 4, made a huge difference. Sandy and Jerome, do you want to speak to Ken at all, and did you have any interaction with him this time around?
Not me. So I can't echo anything that's here because I haven't been engaging with him this time.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't really worked with him on any sprints yet, actually. But I was doing Lightning Decision Jam, and I saw how he communicate offline on the GVDS Slack channel. So yeah, I mean, he is always very active, and I really like how he put in very insightful comments in the Slack and give us like, or when he finds something, he always puts it in the Slack group. But that's as far as I can see from my experience, or as far as my experience goes. Haven't really gone with a full sprint with him yet.
Okay. But I can speak to a little bit just to that, so because we're coming up on the hour, so I'll make sure we have time for everybody. Ken puts a lot of effort into what he does. He's highly engaged and involved with his teams, and a lot of the comments that I see here basically reflect my experience with him as well. So congratulations to Ken on this one. We're going to go over to Hiroki Sakai on this one, and the red reveal is going to be Iva Slatic Keko, I think it's called, in Hong Kong. And this one was one where I was on Team Pancakes. I saw what was happening. Just in the past 3 or 4 months, Iva's put an incredible amount of effort and dedication to not only her team, but of design sprints in general. I'm aligned with a lot of the comments here. And again, let me check and see if Iva's on, because I know this is an odd hour for her. No. So, excuse me. Sandy and Jerome, do you have any comments on Iva's comments here from people that submitted their submitted their point of view?
Unfortunately not. It's like we have been living in the dungeons and not engaging with this. I almost feel embarrassed.
No. I can vouch for everything that's said here. I think she impressed me the couple times that I've had interactions with her in LGJs, especially with the way she's been kind of bringing Team Pancakes around. So she's been the centerpiece of a really good design sprint that I've seen going on, and I think they continued on their work in week 2 and week 3. So I think everything here is well deserved and definitely like descriptive of what she's capable of. Then finally, we're going to go over to Hasamori Morimoto, and this is going to be one that I'm pretty sure, double check. I'm almost certain that this person was here, but let me see if she dropped off. Nope, this person is here. Any guesses as to who this is, Jerome and Sandy, before I reveal it?
The person must like rice, because I see a rice cooker on the picture.
I don't know, but
So
I can give
it's probably vegetarian. Probably vegetarian.
No, I can give you a clue that this person likes the mountains.
Likes the mountains.
Yep.
Oh, wow, that could be an interesting one, because then maybe she was on the team where I was as well. So it could actually be that it is she online? Is she online?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, she's live. Yeah, she's live. Yeah. It all starts with an L, I think.
And yep, and I believe you're right. That would be Laura Barberia Gill. I think hopefully I said that right.
Bring her
on. If Laura, if you want to come on, just raise your hand in Zoom and I'll bring you over. But Laura is someone that I've had direct contact with in my sprint with the what was it? I forget the name of it, what it was. I don't think we called it the dramatic chipmunk thing. There we go. She was somebody that was a driver of action. She basically did a ton of work for the team when we were towards the end, kind of bringing everybody together. It was one of those things where it was a pleasure to work with her. I thought that she was central to the team's success. So I'm bringing her on. I think I added more than one, but let me see. Hang on a second.
Switzerland is always there.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Thank you. Nice to see the text.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I was thinking that's fine. So yeah, of all the submittals that I got, this is something where the volume doesn't seem as much, but it was just because I kind of bracketed it down a bit. But I kept on seeing these comments coming in about your contributions on the sprint team. So congratulations to you, Laura.
Yeah, no, thanks to all of you, also Robert, for setting this up. I learned a lot. I think, every week in one sprint, and everything was different, and every experience, yeah, it was like just starting in a new team from zero, and then at the day 5, you felt like you knew the team, and we were really in the flow. So yeah, all the passion that I showed to the team was also because the team, all the atmosphere we had, and the challenges were just great. So yeah, thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, what else can we say? Now we have to talk about you while you're here in the call, and that, of course.
Can I leave?
Yeah.
But what I remember, let's say I've seen you in the first week with Sabrina on the call when I came in the last day, and you were there. You were passionate about the Kampala challenge, and you were showing that I talked to you already the week before as an introduction. So it was great to see you shine over there. I know you've been busy every sprint possible almost, but when I saw you again in the last week in one of the sprints that you participated in this case the GVDS Talent Sprint that I was able to co-host as well, there was one moment in the whole week where you were excelling throughout all the events, but when you took the stage and you started to storytell what the concept was about without any practicing, and 10 minutes later you did it again in a user interview, flabbergasting almost the subject that was being interviewed with, what it was, where do I need to sign the check? I think you did something extraordinary at that moment. That's really where you really showcased to me that you were on top of it, what you were doing. And knowing that you took almost all roles, sub-facilitation, prototyping, interviewing, design, you've done it all. but if something stood out, it was that moment for me at least. So compliments and congratulations on that. We got it on video, but we can't show it to the world because it was talent sprint, but we'll definitely make it available to you so that you can share it with the world if you want to share it.
Cool. Thank you, Jeroen.
So those are the best of the best. It was Laura, Ken, and Iva, and we have our last one, which was the most valuable practitioner for GVDS 4. I could basically for the people in the know, we already know who this is. So for people that are not in the know, I can tell you straightforward that this person probably went above and beyond and without a shadow of a doubt in trying to help or attempting to help people on multiple teams with multiple sprints. I mean, you can even put the person's name if you think you know who it is before I actually reveal it in chat. But it's pretty safe to say that if you've encountered this person in your chat, or encountered this person in your sprint, you have a pretty good idea about who it could be. So I'll give you 10 seconds. I'll just look at the chat and see if there's anyone that wants to submit a name. And then we can go from there. Yeah. Hey, yeah, you're right. He was in the sprint. You just didn't even realize it. And of course, after I think the chat's got it right, it was Mehmet Caracas. So it's safe to say, and we joked with him when we first started getting involved. It's like, you're gunning for the MVP, aren't you? You really want to get this really bad. And we were joking with him, but I think it wasn't necessarily for the recognition. It was for the opportunity to help people. And that's, I think, what drove him more than anything else. I'm just
get him on.
Yeah, I'm like, he's got to raise his hand, but let me see if he's available because he may be may have stepped away. So Mehmet, if you want to come over and talk with us.
He's replying the chat.
Yeah, people are like, Nate, tell me you're alive over there. And you haven't gone to go get breakfast or something.
Put your hand up, Mehmet.
There you go.
He asked how.
Got it. All right, hang on. Come here. Come here. There you go. You over? He is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey.
Hey, Mehmet.
Congratulations, Mehmet.
Congrats.
Hey, now you guys can see me. Wow, really nice surprise. Thank you very much. I mean, yeah, thanks a lot. First of all, Robert, for really, putting this all together and having the whole crowd exercising, and that was really great. I'm really humbled to have received this, and thanks to everyone who was able to enrich their learning and also my own learning together. I mean, it was a really great adventure together, I have to say. So yeah, I mean, it was I don't know, I'm not a great speech maker, so
We're going to give you a full 5 minutes to figure it. No, I'm kidding. That's fine. Just know that a lot of people appreciated your contributions. Mehmet, I think you did a lot of work this time around. You did a lot of, you got yourself involved with a lot of different groups that needed your help. So I really do appreciate it as an organizer of the event in terms of everything you did. So this is well deserved. So yeah, you should feel pretty good about it. Hopefully you do. If you feel like sullen and depressed, you're gonna have to let me know, and I'll have to change out this dynamic a bit.
Yeah.
But to close things out, let's go ahead and bring people in that were part of the event that want to come over on the panelist side so we can do a group shot together. If you do want to be part of this, then go ahead and raise your hand or say in the chat that you want to be brought over.
Robert, can I propose something?
Yeah, go for it.
I would actually propose that everybody comes in the chat.
Okay.
If they don't want to be on the group picture because 135 people don't fit on there, but let's say I got one last award that I want to announce here today, and I'd rather do that with the person in the call as well, and he's on the list there. So before we continue, I'd rather have everybody in the call but on mute, otherwise we get a madhouse over here. But let's see how many people we can get live on screen before we announce the last award of GVDS number 4.
I think I'm bringing everybody in. Yeah. So far, Morton, Ian, I'm slowly adding them in. There should be like a kind of like a batch kind of panelists like brought over. So yeah, everyone else, let's see if there's anybody in chat that said anything. Nope. I think that's pretty much everybody that wanted to come over for video on the panelist side. So I think we're set.
Okay, well then let's do it at least with the people we have on the screen here today. I reached out to the community a little bit earlier today also to understand actually, is there maybe a special award that we need to bring out that you never put on the list, Robert? And it's always hard to come with a name for that. And you can do a naming sprint or a branding sprint to come up with the right name. But I took the voluntary approach of myself to call it the Super Booster approach and award that we have today. So there is one award that we need to announce all together, I think, today, and that's the Super Booster Award of GVDS number 4. And there was only one, let's say, candidate for this award, and he is in the call. I'm just seeing whether you brought them over already.
I think so.
Let me have a look.
I'm still just monitoring the chat for people that say something. Brought Daniel over. Oh no, Daniel I got to bring over. But yeah, I think I'm still getting.
Let's bring the Swiss Army knife over as well.
Yes.
And Susanna not coming over?
She may be away. I made it an option rather than forcing people over.
Okay. So with all people on the call and as many people as possible, maybe we can make a drum roll because I'm going to announce the Super Booster Awards May 2020, inspired by all your feedback, inspired by all the work that's being done, inspired by all the great achievements that a community like this is able to create, inspired to create opportunities for people to move on in their careers, in their profession, in their passions and their ambitions. There was only one person that was listed on the short list this morning and today, but the person that is being awarded as the Super Booster GVDS number 4 is Mr. Robert Scrope.
I'm a booster.
So let's celebrate another GVDS number 4. And Robert, on
the
behalf
booster
of a great community developing around the world, don't underestimate what you do to this event. I know it's organizing and much more, but it's well recognized, it's well appreciated by all of us here in the community. So thank you very much, and celebrate your achievement as well again. You made it till the end.
Woo! I got another round of sleep deprivation, but another round of great virtual design sprinting. I'm very happy for all of you and happy that you came together for this. So thank you very much. I do appreciate it.
Thank you for putting it together.
Yep. I'm more than happy to do it. I love doing it. So one last thing before we go. We're going to do the customary group shot at the end to kind of close this thing out. So Mehmet, the only thing I would recommend is you kind of move. There you go, because you're having a sound like this. I'm like, okay, I want to see you when you do the picture.
Hello.
Okay, so anyone would like to volunteer a theme for this one before we actually do a group shot? Oh, look at Finn. Finn's got it working. Fantastic. It still doesn't work on a Mac. He's talking about I'm forgetting the name of it for Snap Camera. But
It's so disappointing.
yeah, I know. I really wish it could have done it this time around. There you go. All right. I think it's good enough that we just all smile and wave. I think that'll be good enough. It's like a kind of a thing. You get your virtual backgrounds in place. Give you a few minutes to do that if you'd like to. Yes, you can do the Lee Duncan kind of like English wave if you'd like. You can do the high five kind of wave as well. But go ahead and get those in. I think I'll also just check one more time just to make sure I'm not missing anybody. Nope. I think everyone who wants to be over is over. Right. All right. So I'll do the one hand wave so I can take the picture. Right. Ready? The count of 3. One last time. 1, 2, and 3. All right. Thank you all very much. Wonderful having you for the GVDS number 4. Thank you to all the award winners. And Mehmet, congratulations again for doing everything that you did. And I'll continue to be the booster when it comes to the GVDS. Hopefully we'll see you again in October, but until then, enjoy your summer. Continue on with it with kind of networking. The one thing I will recommend that sometimes gets lost is if you see somebody in the list of people that were award winners, or even right now in this camp thing, be sure to go on LinkedIn, and if you really feel compelled to, write them a recommendation. Endorse them for the skills that you saw when you were doing that. That makes a world of difference for them, especially in the long term. If they have that validation from other people around what they do and what they contribute, it's highly important that you do that or take time out to do it. And it's really appreciated. So it's kind of a pay it forward thing. So that's the last thing I'll leave you with. Again, thank you all so very much for GVDS 4 and kind of coming together. And hopefully it was beneficial. It looks like it was. And feel free to leave feedback. That's still going to be open if you want to. Let me know about how to improve the event, what went well, what didn't. And I'll be quiet now. Viva la weekend. Let's go enjoy it. You know, take care, everyone. Wonderful working with you. And see you all later, okay? Bye. And for those of you on YouTube who joined in, thank you very much as well. And
Bye.
soon. See you later.
Bye bye.
See you.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Everyone.
Bye.
Bye.